Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be once again talking about Concord, the content gift that keeps on giving. We are literally beating a dead horse at this point with this game, which is now officially shut down. You guys know the story of Concord. Massive failure, shut down after only a week and a half after its release because it was such a spectacular failure, and now the servers are officially shut down. However, there's a small glitch that is still reporting some players in-game for Concord even after it's shut down. We see this caption saying, "For some reason, there are 7 Concord players worldwide after the game shut down. In reality, as punishment for losing $200 million, PlayStation is forcing some developers to play the game on a loop for eternity. A fate truly worse than hell itself." But anyways, there's been a lot of reaction from people who are a part of the Firewalk Studios team, the team that developed Concord. And you can see here this senior lighting artist had some reaction to the news of the shutdown, saying, "And like that, it's gone. I'm sorry to see it go, but I am so lucky to get to have worked with Firewalk and this team for the last 2 years. I've had the chance to work with and learn from some of the most talented, kind folks in the field here, and I am proud of what we made." Yeah, this was not a good tweet. This was not good timing, not reading the room, and of course, people in the comments just absolutely dunking on this poor individual, saying, "You made a heaping pile of shit that didn't even last a month. What is there to be proud of? Participation trophies were a mistake. I wouldn't put that on my resume." And also this comment saying, "An unemployed talentless loser says what?" which is a reference to a comment made by a former Firewalk dev who called people who criticized Concord a bunch of talentless freaks. And that is a pretty common narrative for people who are a part of the Firewalk team, making disparaging comments about gamers. And here's yet another example of that people have discovered. This individual, who is a concept artist, or a former one maybe, for Firewalk Studios, saying this in response to someone crying about people dunking on the Concord failure, saying this, pretty soon these weirdos will have no games to buy at all. Basically saying that the people criticizing woke games will eventually just hate everything and not have anything to play, which is very ironic because this was posted on August 30th, and only a few days later, Sony would announce that the game that she helped design is being shut down forever. Now, who is this individual? Well, Amanda Kiefer here used to be the senior concept artist at Firewalk Studios. You can see it was proudly displayed in their bio. And they were also someone who was very proud to be a part of this team. This series of tweets from back in July of this year, she said, "I can say with certainty that I and the artist behind Concord put a ton of soul and heart into every character design and model. Concord has been a dream project for me as an artist, and I am extremely proud to have helped flesh out our rich world. I am beyond excited to show our character concept art to the world. Even if the reception is negative for whatever reason, I put my soul into every single one." A little bit of foreshadowing here, actually. She kind of predicted the result back in July. But if you look at her bio now, a couple things have changed. Number one, she is on protected mode. But on top of that, you know what's not there? Any mention of Concord or Firewalk Studios. So that leaves 2 results. Either she no longer works there, or she is just ashamed to be associated in any sort of a way with that project and its development team. And honestly, looking through some of these things, people have been pulling up some of her older artwork, and people are trying to clown on examples like this. And honestly, I don't really think it's too fair, some of the criticism of her art. I went through a good portion of her older art, and I think she has talent. I think she has the capability to make some good character designs, but something gets in the way. And that thing that gets in the way is apparently her own political beliefs, and it bleeds into her art, and it strangles any creativity that could have been there, because agenda pushing is somehow more important than making actual good art. And it happens when these things, like I said, leak in. When she's a self-described feminist, she's proudly announcing that to the world. She also has Trump derangement syndrome. You end up with results like this. The designs for Concord were really bad. They weren't impressive. These don't look like heroes in their own universe. They look like cheap background characters made with minimal effort. I mean, it's ironic in their push for diversity to make these extremely brightly colored designs, and yet they also just look so incredibly bland at the same time. However, I want to thank Hero Hey here for capturing some screenshots, because Amanda would be having a rough time in the wake of the Concord shutdown announcement. It begins with this individual, someone named Forrest here, saying that they wanted to redesign one of the Concord characters, not to fix art or any pretentious stuff like that, just as an experience to see if I can find where it all went wrong in the designs. Also, it sounds like a fun thing to draw. I love Guardians of the Galaxy looking stuff. I think they look great as background characters in a movie or something. They're just missing the hero part. So she would see this and then respond on Twitter with this, saying, I was going to DM you after seeing this, but this site makes me pay to do that, so at the risk of getting dogpiled, I'm just going to say this here. A lot affected the art side of Concord, including design by committee, failure of some leadership to listen to the art team, etc. The character concept art team, including myself, is going through an extremely difficult time emotionally, and some on the team no longer want to work in games, design characters, or even do art anymore after this. Because of this, posts like yours, though understandable, are unfortunately ill times. None of us know which way the wind will blow with that studio. We are worried sick and terrified of the future. Not only that, but we have been shouldering the brunt of an emotional labor as executives/directors dodge most of the blame. Behind the scenes, all of this talk about Concord and character designs, people's livelihoods are at risk, and there are very real financial consequences that might hurt us even more. That's just what I can say from our point of view. I'm not saying change course or anything. Us artists like being able to use social media to promote our work and get more jobs. But I am saying we see this and it does absolutely affect us since we just got our teeth kicked in. Man, what a bleak scene she's painting right here. And anytime you start feeling bad for some of these people involved with Firewalk Studios and the development of Concord, you have to remember, who else do you blame for this mess? These people all played a role in the mess that is Concord, especially if you're a character designer or someone who's involved with the concept of these characters. That's one of the most identifiable issues with this game. People really hate the character design. So everyone played a role, and I do agree too that the executives and higher up people should also face a lot of criticism. But again, you don't garner a lot of goodwill with people as an individual in a company when you constantly disparage gamers on Twitter and you try to provoke and antagonize people, and then you come out with a shoddy product. People don't feel sorry for you when that happens. But there would be some people who would take a stab at the redesigns, and this video is absolutely hilarious. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. But basically, this account here, Critical Art, made Concord character redesigns as their contribution to the dogpiling of the Concord demise. And just take a look at how improved some of these designs were. I'm just going to show one just for the sake of brevity here, but this is one of the redesigns, and it looks pretty good.
Here's my concept sketch. Now, this is actually one of the better designs in Concord. So I kept most of the ideas. First, I cropped her coat. Because she has such big shoulder pads, and when you exaggerate something, you kind of want to take away from somewhere else to create a sense of balance. It also makes her look less cumbersome, and I made her shoes more like running shoes to show that she is a much more agile character and that she would use blades. And I would have it to where like her gloves can like charge the blades with like kinetic energy, so she could just shoot them like ballistic knives. You know, I feminized the face and made her design more sleek to make it more obvious that she's an acrobatic knife thrower. I imagine her being like a sassy bounty hunter. Here's the before and after. I don't know about you guys. I know which one I would pick.
See, Concord's what happens when you appeal to the modern audience. The modern audience, of course, doesn't actually exist. It is the few dozen people who actually showed up to play Concord. That is what the modern audience is. But studios are constantly trying to appeal to this worthless demographic of people. And you can see other studios like Bloober trying to appeal to the modern audiences with their Silent Hill 2 remake. And of course, people are very concerned about that remake because, once again, horrifyingly bad character designs here. You can see the downgrade. This is the original from many, many years ago, and this is the redesign in 2024. How does this even happen? It has to be an intentional downgrade. There's no way to explain this otherwise, but of course, who had something to say about that back in June of this year when people were criticizing the remake? Oh, it was Amanda once again saying this. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite game of all time, and right-wing fans complaining about the way Angela looks in the remake is telling. We are talking about a character who was essayed, a victim, and victims like this often gain weight to cover up as much as possible. You don't even have to argue with those people. They tell on themselves immediately. These right-wingers are showing they do not care about anything below surface level and are unable to understand the media they consume. Oh boy, the media literacy angle at the end there is just chef's kiss. But you can see clearly the Trump derangement syndrome is leaking into everything. Everyone who criticizes anything that she likes is automatically some right-winger, and basically this probably sums up everyone who criticized Concord. She probably views them as a bunch of right-wingers as well. But I want to end this video on a funny post here. This is a Steam review that it's just amazing. Let me read this for a second. So, racist bigotry won again. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Does your day feel that little bit better knowing a great developer comprised of hardworking folks is going to likely be shut down over this? All because you can't whack off to ugly character designs and cry about woke games all the time. Get the memo. This game wasn't for you in the first place. Now, a decent shooter with fresh ideas in a boring free-to-play market is going to die. Does that make you happy? You are what's wrong with this industry, and because of you, Sony might see this and think PC isn't worth investing their money in for future games. Hope you are satisfied. Edit, well, congratulations. The game is shutting down completely. Hope you miserable gamers are happy. Completely satisfied, actually. But you can see right here, the delusions and the deflection of blame is quite amazing. Right in the middle there saying this game was not for you in the first place, and then nobody shows up to play it, and then confusion and anger ensues. These people literally told you to not play this game. You don't play this game, and now they're mad at you for not playing this game. They don't know what they want. But anyways, like I said, Concord is the gift that keeps on giving, and really they can thank a lot of the people on the Firewalk team for keeping this going with their ridiculous comments. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.